Well, folks, Donald Trump is not going to be happy today because last night SNL completely humiliated him and brutally mocked him for his cover up of the Epstein story. We know that Donald Trump has a teeny tiny ego, so something like this could really push him over the edge. Maybe he'll start a war with another country or something to cope. But look, I figured since it's Sunday, I thought we'd have a more positive video where we can laugh at Donald Trump and not cry at the insanity of this administration. So before we get into any of this, make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. Without further ado, let's dive in. The Daily Beast reports that SNL skewers Trump's desperate Epstein distraction tactics, and I'm happy to announce that I actually have a clip from the segment. I'm going to show you a short clip because I really think you should watch the entire thing, the entire segment on the SNL channel or wherever you can. But this will give you an idea of how hard they went at Donald Trump last night, and it's just so funny. So take a look, and then we'll dive into the article.
I could answer that. I am hiding almost nothing, just enough to make it extremely suspicious. But let me ask you a question: if there was something incriminating about me in the files, then why would I cover them up?
Wait, isn't that exactly why you would cover them up?
Okay, let me go again. If I was innocent, wouldn't I just release all the files?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of getting the idea here of what SNL was doing to Donald Trump. So let's dive in and talk more about it. The cold open featured Trump, played once again by James Austin Johnson, who does such an amazing job, crashing a press conference on C-SPAN to answer questions from journalists. One journalist, played by Kenan Thompson, as we just saw, asked, even Trump's biggest supporters think that he should release the Epstein files. What does Trump have to hide? Then he jumps in saying, as we saw, I'm hiding almost nothing, just enough to make it look suspicious. And then they had the back and forth. And then Thompson said, yes, in response to Donald Trump saying, okay, let me go again. If I was innocent, wouldn't I just release all the files? Trump made his third attempt in the segment to downplay the scandal, arguing, Jeffrey Epstein, I barely knew the guy. He continued, as evidenced by the thousands of pictures of us together, dancing and grinding our teeth at various parties, always leering and pointing at something just off camera, probably a book that we are excited to read. And then I like how the Daily Beast included this photo of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein because, of course, Donald Trump's new excuse, or part of his new excuse for these emails, is that he didn't know Epstein all that well and that they had a really bad relationship, which is always Donald Trump's go-to response when he gets caught in a tough situation and somebody close to him or somebody he was friends with or used to know or whatever gets charged with something or exposed for doing something. One of the Epstein emails released Wednesday explicitly stated that Trump knew about the girls, as we all saw. Another document that went viral Friday was a 2018 email from Epstein apparently joking that Russian President Vladimir Putin possessed the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. I'm sure you've seen this online. Bubba appears to be a reference to former President Bill Clinton. I will say that Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, has come out and said that it was not Bill Clinton, even though that was Bill Clinton's nickname. But regardless, whatever, SNL's Trump referenced the Bubba email saying, we love that one, whatever the hell that means. And then they held up a framed Epstein email, which I also thought was really funny. They also praised right-wing pundit Megyn Kelly for her controversial comments Thursday when she seemed to downplay Epstein's crimes by clarifying that he's not technically a pedophile because the girls he trafficked weren't prepubescent. I mean, very strange. She said, I thought Megyn Kelly made a terrific point this week. She said, Epstein's not a pedophile. Terrific thing to just say out of nowhere. Great job, Megyn. We love Megyn. They should put her back on TV. Legalize Megyn. So SNL really hit it out of the park last night with this segment. And the beautiful thing is they didn't stop there because Colin Jost and Michael Che, who host their, weekly news segment on SNL, which is also hilarious, debuted a brutal nickname for Trump's dream project. Let's see what they had to say as well. SNL just didn't hold back on Trump, and I love it. Colin Jost ripped into Trump's controversial demand for the Washington Commanders' new football stadium to be named after him. Trump allegedly didn't ask for the stadium just to honor him, but then threatened to sabotage the project if his request was denied. Joe said Donald Trump told the owners of the Washington Commanders that he wants their new stadium to be named in his honor. So say hello to the Dementia Dome. I just, Josmo's biting material this week, however, had to do with the Epstein files. He said House Democrats released an email written by Epstein in which he claims that Donald Trump knew about the girls. He joked, it's bombshell news that legal experts are calling duh, because yeah, duh. Jost also argued that it's strange that so many people in Trump's orbit have turned out to be involved with something like this. It's just shocking how many alleged pedophiles Trump was friends with. Epstein, Prince Andrew, and Diddy. I mean, that's a lot, Jost said. He continued, I mean, think about your own friend group. How many do you know? One, maybe two, but Trump's like the Forrest Gump of meeting famous pedophiles. I'm sorry. I just, I love when they go at Donald Trump. And I know it gets under his skin because he's insulted them before and he's gone after SNL talking about their ratings and saying they have no talent, which is such a Donald Trump thing to do. He does it so often, as we've seen. But, SNL was not the only program that has gone after Donald Trump in the past week. We've seen South Park do it as well. Of course, the late night hosts have gotten in on it. And Donald Trump has taken aim at another late night host who he has really been focused on recently, and that's Seth Meyers. So last night at 6:57 p.m., he attacked Seth Meyers again, saying NBC's Seth Meyers is suffering from an incurable case of Trump derangement syndrome. He was viewed last night in an uncontrollable rage, likely due to the fact that his show is a ratings disaster. Aside from everything else, Meyers has no talent and NBC should fire him immediately. So clearly, these late night hosts, these comedians, and shows like SNL get under his skin. He just cannot handle it. As I said at the beginning of the video, Trump has a teeny, tiny, fragile ego that when, even if it's a little bit damaged, like a comedian is making a joke at him because, he's the president of the United States. He also defends traffickers. But even when a comedian does something like that, it's a crime in Donald Trump's eyes, and they should be fired and canceled and taken off the air. And matter of fact, Donald Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr, reposted this message on Twitter, signaling that he supports or endorses Donald Trump's idea of having Seth Meyers fired, which is so authoritarian. It is so dictatorial. It's also not surprising whatsoever because it's who they are. And so, look, given the fact that SNL just went so hard at Donald Trump, and I loved every moment of it, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a new statement from Donald Trump today saying that SNL has to be canceled because they're committing a crime or whatever. So look, it's a Sunday. I figured we'd wrap up this crazy, crazy week with a positive story, a funny story. Hope you laughed. I certainly laughed. I thought it was hilarious. Make sure to watch the full segment of all this stuff. You won't be disappointed, but I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.